that women are very good at is wonderful facial animation while they're speaking. We're good at telling our face how to show enthusiasm, how to communicate the energy, and that's great. Research has shown that speakers who are really feeling nervous take on what is known as a stony expression. It's what I call frozen in terror. When you're scared, every muscle freezes up and you get on stage and you've got the sense of, oh my gosh, I've got all these people looking at me and I've got to speak, and that's communicated by the facial expression. So what we need to learn to do is come out in front of an audience and smile. And of course, because our face is quite literally frozen in terror, it's the last thing we feel like doing. But if you can force yourself to do it, and it will be the most unnatural snarl that has ever crossed your face, but when you do that, there will be people in the audience who will smile back. And at that point, your brain goes, they're not going to eat me. They're actually quite normal people. In fact, they might quite like me. And then you'll relax into a real smile and get some more smiles back. And what's happening here? You're setting up communication with your audience. You are establishing audience rapport. And that's how you're going to connect with them and get your message across. So smile even when you really don't feel like doing it. Now, as I said, women are great at the facial expressions during their speech, but we're also a little bit bad about communicating the things that shouldn't be communicated with our face. And something that I've seen done regularly, now I'll just insert here a bit of information. I have trained over 3,000 people. So this is an observation based on a lot of experience. And while I'll say it's predominantly the arena of women, what I'm about to tell you, I have seen some men do it as well. So what do? We come out, we give this great presentation, give all our information, it goes all fine, and we leave the stage, return to our seats, sit down and go, and pull this grotesque face, indicating that we are completely unhappy about what we've just done. And what are we doing when we do that? We are completely undermining all the effort that we put into that great performance. We're telling the audience that was not an acceptable quality speech. And we might be thinking, well, I left out the most important paragraph. Guess what? The audience didn't get the script. They don't know that that bit that you really wanted to say was left out. They've listened to the rest of your performance. It probably made plenty of sense. It was probably fine. But you're telling them when you get back to your seat, is advertising that you're unhappy. And you need to remember that even returning to your seat and sitting down, you're still in the spotlight. Maybe not all the audience can see you, but some people are still watching you, so don't spoil it for them. So keep those facial expressions under control and don't communicate your negative feelings about your talk. The other thing that women tend to do a little bit more than men is come up and show their insecurity by playing with their hair and twiddling their jewelry. It's fine at cocktail parties. Great flirtation methods. Not appropriate for a public speaking presentation. You need to be looking professional and in control. So leave the little girly attitudes and tics at home and come out with a nice, strong, professional image when you do your public speaking. I think that one of the biggest problems that we have with venturing out and delivering our talks and overcoming our nerves is we tend to look at the really top speakers, the ones who charge $100,000 per performance, and we think, oh, I could never be like him. I could never be like her. Well, of course not. No one's asking you to. All they're asking is that you give your best, that you get out there, you do what you can, you do it as well as you can, and deliver your message. Those top speakers did not wake up one morning and say, I think I'm going to go out and give a 45-minute presentation and have my audience spellbound. Yep, that's what I'm doing today. It doesn't work like that. They put hours of preparation in. They did their first speech. It went okay. They learned a bit. They gave another presentation. They learned a bit more. And gradually, they moved to the level they are now. Why do you think you can go out at that level first go? You wouldn't run a marathon without training. Public speaking is a process. It's a journey, and it's about learning a little bit more every time you do it. The message that I would like to leave with you today is that preparation is key. It's worth putting in those hours. It's worth putting in the effort. And keep in mind all those little tells that communicate to the audience that we're not quite that comfortable with being up in front of the people. Forget about those. Take on a strong, confident stance. Get that image across, and remember that the message that you have is valuable and worthwhile. You've been asked to deliver that speech because you have something to say. Enjoy it, and enjoy faking that confidence until one day you go out and you give a presentation and suddenly you realize, I wasn't faking it.